Hey, thought I would take advantage of one more maybe pretty day before the onslaught of winter actually reaches the Texas area. It's a beautiful day today. Man, the sky is totally blue, the sun's out, it's nice and warm, and I even worked up a little sweat going for a walk. So it's going to be a little different than that this weekend, I understand. But I just wanted to jump on and talk about something that's been kind of on my heart for a while now, and I hesitate to talk about it because I don't know, it feels weird. But mostly talking to moms right now, but dads, you're free to listen in and maybe you'll get something out of it as well. But I get a lot of questions from mostly young moms, sometimes older moms who have adult children, will say, how did you get an Allie Beth? How did you raise a child who becomes, so strong in their faith, and I have to say, Justin is just as strong in his faith as well. He's not obviously as public with his beliefs and his stands, but they're both very strong, and I feel immensely humbled by that and amazed that that's how it turned out, because I'm telling you, there were many days that I just prayed, please don't let them grow up and write a book about me. So that, don't think that I had it all together or anything. It is, I don't know. I don't know why God allowed that to happen. And of course, our middle son, Daniel, we love him, and he's on the autism spectrum. He certainly doesn't express his faith the same way the other two do, but we're so thankful for him and what God has done and is doing in his life that most people, 99.9999% people, will never know. So I just wanted to tell a story, and I'll say this, I heard a quote, not long ago. It said, people want what you have, they don't want what you went through to get it. And that is very true. In a lot of cases, you see somebody who maybe has a lot of wealth or a lot of prestige, and you think, oh, I wish I had that, but you don't know all the steps it took for them to get there. And so that's kind of how I feel in the case of raising children who are strong in their faith. A lot of times there were a lot of detours in that process, and it feels very, when you look back on it, you think, I don't know how this even happened. And other people look at it and they think, wow, that looks so awesome and so easy. She must have been just this perfect mom. I wonder how I could be that, or I wish my mom had been that. Don't think that at all. But I will tell you this one little story that is something that's happened only once to me, and it never happened before that, never happened since then, but I feel like it's significant and may encourage you. My kids were young. I think Justin might have been 12 or 13 at the time, and so Daniel was maybe 10 or 11, and so that makes Allie 3, 4 years old. And I was just going for a walk, like I still do today. I go for a walk, I pray, I listen to music, and that. I was in the neighborhood, went for a walk by myself, and as I was praying, I got this, all I can call it is a vision. I don't know, I've never had a vision before, never had one since, but it felt like a vision, and it was me standing in front of a huge crowd of people, maybe 1,000 people in a dark auditorium, and the spotlight was on me, and I was standing there, and these people were listening to me. And I was like, what? I don't know what in the world I could be saying. Are you telling me, God, that this is my future, that I'm going to be some kind of speaker, or I don't know. And then the vision just stopped, but it stayed in my head. And at the time, we were, Ron and I had a business, and we were speaking at small events, maybe a couple hundred people here and there, nothing big, nothing, profound. And but every time we would go speak after that, I would ask the Lord, I would say, is this it? Are you telling me these people are what my vision was talking about? And it never felt like a yes. It never felt like, yeah, this is it. And so years went by, and I had different opportunities to speak to other groups, moms groups, and moms with kids with autism. I spoke, to groups like that. Nothing ever huge. Still under 100 people. And every time, though, I would say, is this it? Am I supposed to be doing something in this area that's supposed to, I'm supposed to be speaking to these large audiences? Never was a yes. Years go by. And Allie Beth was, had just started really, getting some traction on her posts that she would make, and I guess she had her podcast at this point, but it was nothing like it is now. And she'd been asked to speak at an event in Washington, D.C. for the pro-life march. So it was at a pro-life event, and she was going to be speaking there. She was pregnant with her first child, and she wanted me to go with her, and I was excited to do that. And so we're there. So I'm sitting in this banquet room, and there's at least 1,000 people in this room. And I'm sitting at a table with some other people, and they call her name to go up, and she was sitting beside me. She walked up onto the stage, and as soon as she stepped onto the stage and that spotlight hit her and the room was dark, I felt the Lord say, this is it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me in the vision. It was her. And I believe in that moment, he was telling me, you did your job. You raised her. And you taught her the things that I wanted you to teach her. Not perfectly. She didn't follow it perfectly. I have a group of young women that I mentored, and we did Bible studies together, and they can tell you they heard the little teenage Allie stories back in the day. So they can tell you, and we laugh about it now. And my mentor, who was 10 or 12 years ahead of me, who also had a strong-willed daughter, she, I know at the time she was going, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. I know in her head she was going, I don't know if it's going to be fine. But you just keep doing what you're doing. You stay faithful. And I heard on a podcast a couple of days ago, somebody said, faithful is success. And that's what I want you moms to know, is to stay faithful. Stay doing what you're doing. And if you don't feel like you're doing it right, get someone who can help you. Find a mentor who will lead you and encourage you and show you where they've been, where they've done it wrong, where they wish they'd done better. All of those things are helpful. You're never going to get it perfectly, and your children are never going to be perfect. But staying faithful and listening to the Lord will never turn out bad. I guess that's the best way to say it. So I hope that encourages you, and y'all stay warm this weekend. Bye.